I can't marry you. Ridge Shatters Taylor. The Forrester mansion glimmered in the soft California sunlight, its sprawling gardens alive with the promise of romance and renewal. Today was supposed to be the day of celebration, of healing, of vows finally fulfilled. Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes had reunited after years of heartbreak, misunderstandings, and missed opportunities. Their children had gathered, their families had aligned, and the stage was set for a wedding that promised to rewrite destiny itself. But in the world of the bold and the beautiful, promises rarely unfold the way they're intended. Scene 1. The guests gather. Inside the mansion, the air was electric. Eric played host, his eyes brimming with nostalgia. He remembered all the weddings that had graced this very home. The joy, the tears, the betrayals. He looked over at his granddaughter Steffi, radiant in her pale lavender dress, her hands nervously clutching a bouquet of roses. "This is it. Dad's finally going to be happy," Steffi whispered to Finn. Her voice trembled not from doubt but from hope. No more triangle. No more pain. Finn kissed her forehead softly. "Your father deserves peace. And your mom, she deserves this day." Thomas stood a few feet away, smoothing his tie. His dark eyes gleamed with pride as he watched Douglas fidget in his tiny suit. For once, the Forrester family seemed aligned. Brooke was nowhere in sight, and whispers of her absence floated among the guests. "Where's Brooke?" whispered Donna to Katie. "Does it matter?" Katie replied, shifting uncomfortably. "This is Ridge and Taylor's day. Brooke has to accept that." But somewhere deep inside, Donna wasn't convinced. Scene 2. The bride prepares. Upstairs, Taylor Hayes stood before a gilded mirror. She was a vision in ivory silk, her gown flowing like a river of dreams. Her eyes sparkled, not only with excitement, but with a sense of triumph. How many times had she stood in Brooke Logan's shadow? How many times had Ridge slipped through her fingers? Today, it's different, Taylor told herself. Today, Ridge chooses me. Steffi entered, breathless with admiration. "Mom, you look beautiful." Taylor turned, her smile wide and radiant. "Do you think so?" "Of course. This is everything you've waited for." Taylor touched her daughter's cheek. "It's everything we've all waited for." Her heart swelled with certainty. At long last, the battle was over. Scene 3. The groom's turmoil. Downstairs, Ridge stood in his tuxedo, his reflection staring back from the ornate glass doors. His jaw was tense, his hands restless. He should have been ready. He should have been at peace. But instead, his heart was a battlefield. He thought of Taylor, steady, loyal, the mother of his children. He thought of her resilience, her patience, her ability to forgive. But then another image flickered through his mind. Brooke, her golden hair glinting in the sunlight, her blue eyes piercing through every wall he had ever built. "She's not here," Ridge muttered to himself. "She didn't fight. She didn't come." Yet even her absence haunted him more than her presence ever had. Eric approached, placing a steady hand on his son's shoulder. "Are you ready, Ridge?" Ridge hesitated. I don't know." Eric frowned. "This is Taylor's moment. Don't let doubt cloud your judgment. She deserves your full heart." Ridge swallowed hard, his silence speaking louder than any vow could. Scene 4. The ceremony begins. The garden was a dreamscape of roses and white satin ribbons. Guests rose as Taylor, radiant, descended the staircase. Every eye followed her, every whisper hushed. Ridge stood at the altar, his expression unreadable. Thomas guided his mother toward Ridge, his chest puffed with pride. "Here she is, Dad," Thomas said softly, "the woman who never gave up on you." Taylor's eyes locked onto Ridge's. "We made it," she whispered, tears shining. Ridge tried to smile, but his lips faltered. The officiant began. "We are gathered here today to unite Ridge Forrester and Dr. Taylor Hayes in holy matrimony." As the words filled the air, Taylor's heart soared. This was it, the finish line after decades of heartbreak. She glanced at her children, at Eric, at the family that had longed for this reunion. She could already feel Ridge's ring on her finger. But Ridge's chest tightened with every syllable. Scene 5. The breaking point. When the officiant finally said, Ridge, do you take Taylor to be your lawfully wedded wife? All eyes turned to him. Ridge froze. His mouth opened, but no words came. The silence stretched unbearably. Taylor's smile faltered. Ridge, she whispered, her voice trembling. The officiant repeated the question. Do you, Ridge Forrester, take this woman? And then, the words tore out of Ridge like a thunderclap. I can't, he cried, his voice cracking through the still garden. I can't marry you, Taylor. Gasps echoed across the crowd. Steffi dropped her bouquet. Thomas's jaw hardened in disbelief. Eric closed his eyes in agony. Taylor staggered back, as though struck. What did you say? Ridge's chest heaved. I thought I could do this. I wanted to do this, for you, for our family. But my heart, he stopped, his voice raw. My heart isn't free. Scene 6, The Shattered Bride. The words hit Taylor like shards of glass. Her dream unraveled in front of her children, her friends, her family. You don't love me, she whispered, tears streaming down her face. I love you, Ridge said desperately, but not the way you deserve. I thought I could let Brooke go. I thought I could close the chapter. But she's still with me. She'll always be with me. Steffi rushed forward, her eyes blazing. Dad, don't do this to Mom. Don't humiliate her like this. Thomas grabbed Ridge's arm. You're making the biggest mistake of your life. But Taylor stood frozen, her heart bleeding in silence. Finally, she raised her trembling hand, silencing everyone. No, she said softly. This is his truth. And I deserve the truth, no matter how much it hurts. Scene 7, The Fallout. The guests began to disperse in stunned silence, whispers buzzing like bees. Some were furious at Ridge, others pitied him. But all eyes were on Taylor, standing alone in her wedding gown, her bouquet wilting at her feet. Eric wrapped an arm around her shoulders. I'm so sorry, Taylor. She shook her head. Don't be. He's only done what he's always done. He's chosen Brooke, even when she isn't here to fight for him. Steffi's tears turned to fury. I'll never forgive him for this. He doesn't deserve you, Mom. Thomas clenched his fists, his voice cold. He doesn't deserve any of us. Meanwhile, Ridge stood apart, tortured by his own decision. He hadn't meant to devastate Taylor. He had wanted to give her the life she deserved, but love, once again, had betrayed them both. Closing scene, The Cliffhanger. As the sun set over Los Angeles, Taylor stood at the mansion's grand doorway, her veil discarded, her eyes red from tears. She looked back at Ridge, who stood in the garden, staring after her with regret etched on his face. This was our chance, she whispered. And you destroyed it. Ridge stepped forward, but Taylor raised her hand. Don't follow me. Not this time. The door closed with a resounding finality, leaving Ridge alone in the fading light. And somewhere in the distance, the faint sound of Brooke's laughter echoed, a haunting reminder of the love that refused to die.